Centerware Administrator Part 3, Inbound and ACD Groups. Now let's talk about inbound. If you take your mouse to the bottom of the screen, you will see an ACD Groups tab. Clicking on it will display all the inbound activity of the call center. The tables at the bottom represent all the different ACD groups or queues that have been configured into the system. Highlighting any one of them will show the information about any one specific group that we want to monitor. Other things you can see from this view is the number of people in queue, the number of calls answered, abandoned, etc. In this particular example, this group has taken a total of 20 calls. They have abandoned 1 call, there are 0 people in the queue, and there are 0 agents available to take calls. You can view in real time agent activity such as the number of people talking, unavailable, or in ready status. This statistic will tell you the average length of a conversation in this queue, the average time somebody has to wait, and the maximum time on queue for anybody waiting. You see a service level graphic. When you're doing well, the bar is green and it shows you your percentage. If you don't do as well, this will come down and it'll turn yellow and then it'll turn red. Let's look at a couple of other examples. This top example, the service level has dropped down to 70%. The service level is a function of how many calls you abandon and how long you make people wait. Clicking on this icon will show a graph of how well you have done throughout the day. If I want to display this information for agents on the floor, I can click on this button and a new window will appear with the specific information that you can put on a big screen TV that the agents on any given queue can look at. This tab will display the statistics for the current queue. It tells me the number of calls that have been answered, the number of calls that have been abandoned, that have gone to overflow, or other results for the call. This tab will display the dispositions for the group. I can make this larger or smaller as I see fit. In this view, I can see each and every one of the dispositions that this group has used to categorize the calls that they have fielded today. This is not the same as the individual dispositions that we talked about when we looked at individual agents. How we configure the ACD groups is a very simple process. We take our mouse to the top, check on the ACD group menu, and you can configure different things to do with the settings of the ACD group, the schedules of the group, audio messages, DNS assignments, dispositions, campaign configuration, or callbacks. Let's look at the ACD group settings. This view shows you all the different ACD groups that have been configured, the time you allow the agents for wrap-up, the maximum time somebody can be waiting on the queue. If it exceeds that time, the destination overflow of where you will send that call, the maximum number of people that can wait in the queue, and if we exceed that number, where will we overflow the particular call. From this view, you can also see out of service overflow numbers, after hour overflow numbers, etc. You can also configure things such as announcing the position on the queue to the caller. If we want to transfer this call to a different call center or to a different ACD group and you do not want to continue recording the call, you can make that happen by clicking on this box. If you abandon a call, you can set up the system to call back after a determined number of seconds to try and rescue that call back. Other things you can do from the ACD groups menu bar is set up your schedules or audio messages. Audio messages are very simple to configure. You upload a WAV file, you select the condition, such as a welcome message, what's happening during a transfer, out of service, after hours, on queue, etc. You select a specific queue that you've set up, and then you simply drag and drop the particular audio messages into the particular condition. You can have audio messages for inbound or for outbound. Audio messages for outbound would apply for leaving a message on an answering machine if you don't want to pass answering machines to a live agent. The DNS assignment lets you configure what DIDs are going to go to which groups. You can also choose ACD group dispositions. These are the dispositions that will appear on a drop-down menu for the agent after they complete their calls. You can have unlimited number of ACD groups, unlimited number of dispositions. You simply select the particular ACD group and the disposition you want to appear, and in what order do you want it to appear for the drop-down menu on the agent's screen when they're dispositioning their calls. There are dispositions for inbound as well as for outbound. You can also set ACD group schedules. The schedules allow you to set up specific times when you want the ACD group to be functioning, such as different shifts, different days of the week. You can set those up for each and every one of the ACD groups. You can set up the system to call back on an abandoned call. You can define how long after they have abandoned the call you want the system to call them back, whether it's on an abandoned call or no agents logged in, out of schedule, out of service, if they were overflowed to a different place, etc. As with outbound configuration, it is very simple to set up your ACD groups. You simply go to Workgroup Management, specify the kind of group you want to create, an outbound or an inbound, assign a specific graphic for the group. Once the group has been created, specify the people that you want to man that group. You drag and drop into the particular group, choose a supervisor for the group, and that's it. If you click on the disclosure triangle, it will show you the agents that are on the group and the supervisors that are on that group. The graphics at the bottom represent the different ACD groups or campaigns that you've set up. In any particular group, you can double click and see the agents that are associated with that group. When an agent is a member of several groups, you can prioritize which group is more important for them to answer on. This can also apply to skill sets such as Spanish speakers or level 2 technicians or whatever your operation may necessitate. This concludes the inbound section of the Centerware suite. For more information or for a personalized demo, please refer to the contact information at the beginning of this video. Don't miss part 4 of the video series, Agent Module.